Good, good evening and good night and late night. Hey, again, we are with another horror, terrifying, gruesome stories. Today, Ashura, we're going to talk about dead Japanese army, aren't you?
Yes.
This Japanese was at 1940s, I guess. They are really scare the whole nation with a lot of things, and I think this Japanese dead army is the next story which we want to discover in today's show. Ashura, could you brief us or give us some light what this is all about?
Japanese were doing all kind of atrocity, but at the same time they also butchered a lot of people, and killed and dumped their body all over the place in the jungle and everything. So what I'm going to share with you is something real, something happened. Okay, so this is something happened in the north. As you all know, every universities or colleges have their own story. So this is a university that I came from in the north. It was built in a remote area, so it was told to us there are bad spirits and everything. Of course, sometimes it's to scare you, but sometimes it's also to make you alert. So something happened during my studies there.
This is at the university area.
Yes,
is that what you're saying?
Okay. In the campus. Yeah, it happened in the campus. So as you know, most universities students, they will be sleeping late during exam time. So exam time is the time everybody will be awake late night, and until wee hours. People will be studying, going out at night from college to college, stuff like that. So this incident happened in my college, where one of the student, he was something. We use the word we use is raso. This is very common.
Oh.
So this boy, very young boy, he carried a raso him. So can you imagine, the middle of night, he was shouting and screaming a different voice.
So can we say that like hysteria? They get some kind of trance. Something came into they feel like something came into their body.
Yeah, true. Definitely, something came to his body. So we wouldn't know. But when we heard from our neighbors in the block, they say this boy is something so and everything. Of course, we inform our fellow, and they were trying to come. They call the guards. So initially, they thought it's a small thing. Okay, but this thing when entered his body, and he appears almost every day. He'll become very aggressive. Ooh. Can you imagine? He can kick the door and can break. I mean, that's how powerful he is. It's just ordinary young. Become very powerful.
He become very strong, and when he got this trance into his body.
Yes, and when he's gonna come, nobody knows. Suddenly he appear. So he's staying alone in the room. His roommate doesn't want to stay with him. So this is where, when this incident happened, Tobomos were brought in to see whether they can do anything.
This is a local healer, is that right?
Yeah, it's a local healer. So he came.
Okay.
He came to the room, and all the students were surrounded. See what's happening. It's like a show. For us, it's like a show,
Not spirit of the coin, huh?
Yeah, something is more than that. So we all don't know how bad it is. So after a while, the Bomo said, "Oh, this spirit is very powerful. It's very powerful, and it doesn't want to leave the body." So, because he was kind of something like negotiating, talking. Suddenly, the boy stood up, in a very aggressive mode. He started to fight
with this local healer.
Yeah, local healer. And there were other students in the room. They tried to hold him. All kind of kick, whack. So it was real.
This is a real story, yeah. This really happened.
This real thing happened, and we were thought it was just some gimmick. No, it was real. Then After that, the Bomo came and told us actually what happened. See, this area around the campus area, further outside the campus area, all is a place where a lot of Japanese army have killed a lot of people and buried them, Or sometime they also will ikat the rope, in the tree and everything.
Oh.
So some people knowingly, unknowingly might have removed the ikat or something, and they will start to move around.
What do you
And
mean
usually
ikat?
they will attack. Sorry.
What do you mean ikat?
See,
What do you mean by ikat?
They will tie the spirit, nail it on a tree, usually a big tree, and so the spirit will be only on the tree, cannot come out.
Ashura, can I understand this properly? So you're saying that during this Japanese army time, they've been kill people, and they do some kind of ceremony, and they do some kind of some kind of evil ceremony. They tie something to the tree.
No.
This tree, no,
it's not right. The Japanese
then.
have massacred people, and some Japanese also died. So their spirit are not in peace. So the local Bomo, they have ikat these people inside. That means they don't come out.
This evil spirit was after this death of this Japanese army was around this area, and these local healers was control these evil spirits, and they do some ceremony. Okay, that's all about. Okay, good.
So they already ikat. So maybe after certain years the ikat might lose, or somebody accidentally opened it, or things happen. So they are on the roll, and usually they will attack people who weak, people who are scared. When they see something scared, they easily enter you. Once they possess a body, they will try to take the body. They want to take control. So this is what actually happened. So the Bomo told us, okay, he alone cannot handle this particular boy, because he's very powerful. He's more stronger than him. So he had to bring a few more people to help him. So that was day one. A few days later, another show started. So a few more Bomo came, and they were doing the rituals and everything. Okay, so the boy was put, let him lay on the floor, and they were doing all these prayers and everything. And we all watching from first floor all the way to fourth floor. We all surrounded the block. We were watching what's happening. While they're doing this, chant and everything, somebody is pulling out the body. We cannot see. The body is coming out.
Huh?
That means the body
moving by itself.
Somebody is pulling him out from the room, but it's nobody outside.
Okay.
So can you imagine?
You can see the body. It's stressed, and it's trying to bend and trying to go out of the like it's out of control.
He was in a trance, so he's not moving. He's lying down, but something is pulling him out.
Is he floating or what? Was he floating or he walked out or something?
No, floating. Not say very high. I mean, floating probably a few inches. It's like moving.
It's elevated. It's elevated
lying down
from the floor.
Yes.
Lying down, like lying on a lying position. Was he
It's a bit elevated from the floor, so it's coming out. So the other people are pulling him back. So that was the scary, because can you imagine? Something is pulling out. We cannot see, but we can see the Bomos pulling him back.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. And after that, the boy stood up, and he started to, fight in open silat and everything. And whoever in the room, he walloped everybody. Can you imagine? It took 5 people even to control him. Cannot.
So how do we know this is really a Japanese dead army? Or how did he speak some Japanese letters or words or something? How do we really get against this?
Their voice. His voice very husky. You know how Japanese speaks,
what
language?
What language do he speak in?
It's not local language. It's definitely like something like that. Like marching, something like that.
Oh.
Very very harsh. Okay. Why we was told Japanese? Because they said that area used to be a Japanese fort, and a lot of Japanese were killed during World War II, and the body was scattered everywhere, and the spirit was not in peace. So a lot of kampung people don't go that area because of this. So after some time they did some prayers and he cut all this thing. But they said that place is quite, the jungle area, outside of the campus is quite spooky. So the thing is, this thing can come out. You cannot ikat them forever. They will come out.
Okay. Okay.
So this was what's happening. So then, second day also couldn't do anything. The third day, few more boomers came. This time, they prepared more, I would say, more gadgets and more prayer items and everything. So they were kind of negotiating with the spirit in the body to let him leave. So can you imagine? He sometimes will hit himself. He'll bang himself on the wall and everything. You know, in a blue black, you know.
It was really torture himself, you know.
Yeah, torture himself. The poor boy literally was tortured. So this thing was going on for weeks, you know. And for us, it's a drama minggu lah. We will, all the students will gather in the block just to see what's happening, you know. And at night, we also scared to go out and everything. So this was something happening. And only after one and a half week, they managed, you know, persuade the spirit, you know, the Japanese spirit to leave. Okay, so they have to offer food and things. So that's why they said why Japanese, because the food they ask are very much Japanese kind of food, you know, not local food, not the type we eat, you know, some noodles and some.
Usually this ritual has some offerings and all this. So the food types.
The offering and everything, and so it was after that kind of this thing they managed, you know, to convince the thing to leave, and it was not easy, you know. It was the whole incident took about few hours, okay, and finally they managed to ikat. So they ikat, they brought it in a nice like a bottle. They put the thing inside, and they put the ikat around the area. So maybe because sometimes even the ikat it might come back again. So this is how they did.
So they put the spirit in the bottle.
Yeah, the bottle, and they took off. At the same time, around the block, okay, they did some prayers and everything and ikat the area. So they make sure that it doesn't come back. Okay. So even so for us, it was something. We heard about it. We saw in the movies and everything, but we first time witnessed it, saw it in our own eyes what was happening. One of my siblings was there also. He was one of the victims. We can up by this boy. Yeah, because he's a big size. So
victim means he was beaten by this. What do you call the boy
this
who
victim,
was possessed?
This victim, during the ritual,
yeah. Because what happened during ritual, there were other students inside the room. In case, you know, he become aggressive, they can control. So all the big size boys
to help,
But they were also because can you imagine one boy, not a big size boy, he is able to punch and kick. You know, you cannot control him. That much of energy, that much of strength. You know, and
was he your classmate or coursemate?
No, he's my junior. He's much junior to me. Maybe 1 year junior, 2 year junior. Very junior guy. Very. It's not the aggressive kind of boy. Quiet type. You know, mind your work. Studies people. So this is what happened. So then when we were told that when you go outside the campus or even inside the garden, if you see anything on the tree, if there is a ikat or some ties or anything, don't try to be funny. Don't try to open up.
You mean you can see a bottle on the tree?
We been to that interior areas. Okay, we've seen they have something like tangkal. You know, they put on a nail. These are things we have seen. It's common. You know, usually big trees. You can see up. Things are there. Not easy to see, but if you look for it, you know, the locals people they know. Of course, we students wouldn't know. We'll just go everywhere.
So there's no bottle or nothing to indicate that it's a spirit?
Bottles, what they do, they will bury under. See what happened? That's why they say they always don't go to a big trees and everything. They bury under it. So for them, that tree become their house. So coming back to the thing, why Japanese army? Because this particular spirit, okay, he has the Japanese kind of voice, okay, and type of food he wanted, you know, to leave. Because they will ask, what should I give you? What will make you leave? So it was very much food or Japanese kind of food. Okay, and you can see how husky their voice. But you can see the way they stand, like body is chest up. Because a small guy, so it's chest up, and because the Bomo was doing silat. Okay, so they were doing silat. So this guy was doing something different. That's why he could even overpower them.
So only one boy was possessed during this entire few years that you were at university?
No.
In fact,
there so many cases. But this is something we witnessed. So we heard stories about flying coffin and all these things. We heard, but we have not seen it. Okay, flying coffin, flying spirits. In some other blocks, some other colleges. Because near our college there's a big lakes, so lakes and everything. So people have told us, but this is something I personally witnessed. With my fellow roommates and everything. So we saw this.
So what happened to the boy? What happened to that boy after he was cured of the spirit?
First, he have a lot of self-inflicted injury, blue black on his face, his arm, because he punched the wall and everything. So he has injuries on his body. So it took time for him to heal. Okay, and he was asked somebody to stay with him. Nobody let him alone. These are things were asked to, and he was given some kind of medication, some some drinks, and they cut some something on his thigh and leg, so for him to make sure that this thing could come back again. Because the thing is, the spirit might come back again. It can even harm the boy.
Okay.
Sometimes if they really don't want to go, they think they might harm, because the body is something very not easy for them to come in. But once they are in, they would like to stay with the body.
So they just stick with the body. They like the body and they're trying to take away the life, and they want to control the body. Yeah.
Sometimes, see what according to the Bomos is, sometimes these spirits have things they want in life which they didn't fulfill. Maybe they wanted some food. Maybe they wanted something, but due to this body have died instantly. So because of the not fulfilled thing, they are out there. So the only way they can fulfill is if they take a physical body.
Okay.
Wow.
So that
fulfill their desire, unfinished desire.
Yes.
So we can say this is a trance, evil trance to a student. Yeah. We believe this is the Japanese State Army. And this kind of the things are you saying in the thigh on the trees. This is in a forest, which is just near the university's area.
Yes, because next to the university is a very thick forest and is closer to the border. So this
is like year what? 19.
This happened in 1993. 93.
Wow.
So that was the year we were there. So 93, and the campus was very new. It was literally new. We only moved in 3 years before that. So it's a new campus. So the surrounding area is a very thick forest.
The students get terrified with this things going on in the university. There's someone say like, I don't want to be studying here, or somebody wants to go away from me.
Well, in some incident there are students, but generally you see the university are very careful in this kind of thing.
The boy still was there. He studied and finished his studies.
Yeah, he finished it. Because what happened? The university have local Bomos will help them out. Usually the park guards, they know, so they will contact these people. They know, so they are prepared. It's not something like they don't know what to do. They are prepared. The only thing they need to know, assess how bad the situation is, and they always find a way to, because the university's job is to protect the students and everything. So for us, it's more of a cautious. When you go outside of the university boundaries, in the jungle, in the waterfall, and everything, you must be careful. Don't simply, take things and like they say, for example, when you go to the jungle and everything, you can't do your business anywhere you like. You must, they say, take easy. You must ask permission. Hey, I want to do this, permission and everything. And sometimes, if they don't give permission, some signs are given to you.
Okay. So Ashura, so I think this Japanese State armies really terrified the students, the incidents, the student gets scared, this guy get tranced. Does the student leave the university or continue studies there?
Actually, nobody leaves the university. They'll continue study. The only thing,
So this particular boy, the victim
boy
was there after that?
He continued, he finished, he graduated also. So he was there. It's just, for example, some people say before you go to your room, before you wash your leg, things like this. These are things, we do. And sometimes we also tie some tangkal in the outside room, some prayer words and other things. So these are.
So it's just all a protection measures has been taken. We're scared, feared. So we do all this kind of precautions for each of believing religious. You take your own precautions. You use your own religious way to protect yourself.
Yes. And that's it.
Good. Thanks, Ashura. Thanks. This is really scary. I think the university students must be terrified. They must be feared because many of the nights, So I would say we end the session today, and thank you very much, Ashura, for bringing us such a story for us and share with the people. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.